lovely people, welcome or welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which is the most exciting plan with me I will ever do, which is my wedding week. So this is a kit from Plannerface. I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use my code CAT to save 10% on your orders and add my name in notes to seller to pick up a seasonal freebie. But Anna is also one of my besties and was one of my bridesmaids and this was the June mystery, and when Stuart and I got engaged, I do work with Anna on the mystery anyway. Anna said to me, "Oh, should we make one of the mysteries themed after your wedding?" And I don't think I believed her straight away. And then she kept insisting that that's what we were going to do, and we've had this art for about a year, and it's the most amazing thing that will like ever happen to me other than marrying Stuart is having my hobby immortalized in this way through a kit that is literally based off mine and Stuart's wedding is absolutely incredible. I'm very, very grateful to have Anna as a friend. So yeah, this is just so exciting. This whole plan with me is amazing. So there was, as you saw in the beginning footage, I have a lot of stuff for this kit. So all of the art is based off of my wedding, but I think it's really accessible for any wedding, really. Like, we didn't have anything at our wedding that was like really unique. Maybe the VW van, but like in the main, this was like a very accessible wedding theme. So I'm hoping that lots of people will be able to use this kit because objectively, I think it's beautiful. The art is drawn by Lavi, who just did such a good job. Like that toolbox of me and Stuart. Have you ever seen a box that looked more like my husband? Because I don't think so. Like, I remember when I got the art and showed it to my mum, she was like, "Oh wow, that's Stuart." I was like, "Isn't it? It's amazing." But there's so many extras for this set. So there's so many couple boxes and so many bridesmaid boxes and bride singular boxes. There's way too much to use for one spread. I gave it a pretty good go and tried to use nearly everything. I've got an extender on every single day to try and include all the art, but even I couldn't include it all. So again, you will be able to pick stuff out of the kit if you've got this mystery that can tailor it to whatever wedding you're using it for. I think it's very accessible that way. So this spread was really fun to do. I haven't filmed a plan with me in like a year, maybe. But quite a few people asked me for this one, so I hope that this will do it justice for what you wanted to know. I will talk to you about all the wedding plans and stuff, obviously, when we get there, but for now, let me tell you about the most epic base I've ever done. So, our wedding was on Sunday the 26th, and I am somebody that likes to record all the little details of a big day. So, like when we went to Florida, I recorded every single ride we went on, for example. And I just had a lot I wanted to say for Sunday. I cut some of it, but there was a lot I didn't want to cut. And Anna and I talked a lot about how I could even approach that because I'm not afraid of an extender, as we can see on screen right now, use them a lot. But this was like the extreme of extenders because what I was thinking of doing was having like a flippy up box at the top and a flippy down box at the bottom of Sunday and be done with it. I very quickly worked out that was not going to be enough for the space I needed. So Anna suggested that I rip a page out the back of my planner and cut down to like the size of a column. And then we were thinking about ways that I could basically make the full length column of a day into an extender of its own right. I wanted to flip it up because I prefer my extenders flipping upwards. But as Anna had pointed out, and she was totally correct, that was way too dangerous. It would have ripped out of the planner. It just would have looked silly. It would have been flipping way too far off the page. So then Anna had suggested flipping like outwards, so like from left to right. But as I've said, I prefer my boxes to be flippy uppy down rather than side to side because I just think it's more obvious the way that you read the writing. So what I ended up doing was just omitting a sidebar altogether, and I have to give credit for this to Jess of J. Crew Plans, who's done this for a few spreads where she had a lot she wanted to say. And I've never done it before, but I can totally see now why you would do it. I don't think that Jess ever did it because she had 2 days worth of stuff. I think it was because she needed like a particular theme to run on for 8 days rather than 7 days. But may I recommend to you that if you have so much to say for one day that you need to make it 2 columns, just get rid of your sidebar. I didn't have anything in my sidebar that I would have needed to include. Like normally my sidebar is a countdown to my wedding. So obviously I got rid of that. And it's like what I ate each day, which I don't think I even recorded for this week. So this is a much better use because I had so much space for Sunday. And then I made a flippy extender box using the toolbox. And that toolbox is specific to my version of this kit, which Anna made for me, her, and my friend Emma, who was also a bridesmaid. And I wanted to use that one on the Sunday because obviously that's the one that looks like me and Stuart. So I made that just using a normal extender and just covering like part of the box. It worked so well. So if you were ever thinking, can you make an extender out of a toolbox? You totally can. You don't need specific toolbox stickers to do that. And hopefully it was clear enough how I did it on the video if you ever wanted to recreate it. And then, as I say, I've got an extender on every other day so that I can include all the art. So I've started to get into the day by day already. So I guess that I will start talking about that. And then when we get to Sunday, I might need to slow the footage down so I can talk in more detail and include some photos and stuff. This is 2 hours of footage condensed into what at my time of doing this voiceover is half an hour, but I expect the final video will be longer than that. But hopefully you'll enjoy it. And if you don't, I figure you wouldn't have even clicked on this plan with me anyway. So hopefully that's the case. If you don't want to hear about my wedding, maybe now's the time to leave. Couple of things. I am using gold foil for this spread. I think that gold was the right choice. Silver would also look amazing, but the accent colour of our wedding was gold. If you couldn't tell, our wedding theme was sage green. And then Anna added in some gold and yellow to the kit, which is just perfect. It looks so good. But yeah, gold foil I think was the right choice for me for making the kit like really pop. I had the overlays, so like on the bottom of Monday it says like Mr. and Mrs. Lang. I bought those in gold and silver from Plannerface. So I've used the gold. And then the rest of the foil is from SPC. I needed a lot of bougie boxes for this one, so I raided my SPC stash for that. I'm not going to be saying where the individual stickers are from in terms of like the icons and things because it's too complicated and I have hauled all of them on my channel before. But if you want to know where anything in particular is from, then please feel free to ask, and I'd be more than happy to help. A lot of all the scripts are Plannerface, but then the icons are my typical favourite shops, and I will link to my like favourite shop list in the description as well. So for Monday, first thing I marked was I had the day off. I took the whole week off, which was really needed because I did wedding admin for most of every day. The first thing I then actually marked on Monday was that I was feeling overwhelmed. I got very stressed with wedding stuff on the first couple of days of this week because I'd been saving a lot of admin to do for the week of the wedding. So I made a 50-page wedding binder, and I made different versions of that for our suppliers, for two of our bridal party, Natalie and Elliot, had versions of it. So I was basically just spent days doing this binder, and I'd been preparing for it for so long to then basically be needing to pull together every aspect of the wedding was quite overwhelming. But it paid off, and my wedding binder was mentioned probably 20 times in the speeches as like constant jokes from everyone. But did the day run without a hitch in the main? Yeah, so thanks for the wedding binder. I then marked that I went to Tesco, and then I marked that I wrote my vows. So writing my vows was something like for about a year I knew what I was going to say in them, and then it came to writing them and I couldn't remember a single thing I wanted to say. But well, not my vows. It actually wasn't my vows. I've realized now as I say this, Stuart and I didn't have vows. We just had like generic speech because that's much more common in the UK. You don't typically write your own vows. You can, but we didn't. But I wrote my speech, and that's what I meant by marking write vows. This spread was like, yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit of a shame I only realised that now. But anyway, yeah, I wrote my speech. And as I say, I'd been waiting a long time to write this speech and then forgot how to write it. But I think it was really good. Our speeches were very emotional at our wedding. Stuart's brother's getting married in September and apparently said to Stuart, could we just hire you guys to do our speeches? And like everyone did really good speeches for us. So yeah. Then I was listening to Maybe in Another Life, which is a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, which is a really interesting read about basically this like night of somebody's life where she can either go home with this guy she knows from school, but they're adults now, or not. And the book is about the like two lives she could have led if she had gone home with the guy or not. Very interesting book, very interesting idea. It's not peak Taylor Jenkins Reid. That will, I think, forever be Daisy Jones and the Six for me. But still, a really like interesting idea for a book. Then I was doing general tidying. I'm not really entirely sure why, though I expect the house was a state because we were in wedding prep, but nobody was staying, but I think I just wanted to have a clean house. Then I had a driving lesson, then I cleaned the bathroom, and then I made a gusto meal, or we made a gusto meal on Monday. Then on Tuesday, so I marked that I was working on the wedding binder all day. And by all day, I mean it was from the first minute I got up to like when I went to bed. And I'm pretty sure what I didn't then mark on this day was that I couldn't sleep and I got back up. And I is this the day my parents called me? Oh, there's more on Monday. So, because there's got a flippy box I didn't flip down. So yeah, after we made the gusto meal, we watched Game Changer, which is a Dropout TV show. If you've not heard of Dropout, it's like a streaming service, but for kind of like comedy mini shows. It's really good. They're really, really good stuff. If you want like light watches, I really recommend. Then I had a bath, and then my parents called me. And then what I think I then didn't mark on the Monday after that was after my parents called me. This was at like 10 o'clock at night, and they were like, "We're having anxiety dreams about the wedding." And I was like, okay. So I then couldn't sleep, and I worked on my wedding binding until like the early hours of the morning. So yeah, then I was working on the binder all of Tuesday. I was watching Lil Simsy. She's a real comfort streamer for me, so there's a lot of that around this time. We had pizza for dinner, watched another Game Changer because I just couldn't handle anything too serious or involved. And then I was doing more wedding admin. Then on Wednesday, and I love the flippy box for Wednesday because it's got the back of my dress, and then when you flip it over, it's got like the groom's suit or the usher's suit or whatever, which I really like. So again, Mott had a day off that I finished the wedding binder, but again, still took most of the day. That I watched some Simsy, that I continued tidying, that I had a bath. My week was like quite dull until we get to later on. I finished Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I really liked Icebreaker. I think it's got a really like negative rep because it took off on TikTok, but I've read a lot of romance books, and I think that one is a good romance book. It's a good balance of story and steam. I think it includes a lot of information in it. I think it's really good. I had a good time reading it. Then I marked that I was feeling tired because obviously I'd been doing like long days working on the admin and not sleeping properly. We made a gusto meal, and then I marked that I did air wrap curls. So I got a Dyson air wrap a couple of weeks before the wedding. So I was marking that I was doing that. Anna is the total inspiration for me getting an air wrap curler, and she's like taught me everything I know about how to do it. But there is still a fair amount for me to learn. I will get there. I haven't done it recently because I just haven't seen the point. Because I need to just have my hair tied up at work at the moment because it's like really humid right now in the UK. It's raining a lot, but it's humid. Then on Thursday, again, Martha had a day off that I packed up the wedding folders. And then the flippy box on Thursday is very fun because it's got like our invitation, and then you flip it and it's got the art of the bridesmaid's dress, but then it's also got a picture of me, Anna, and Emma that Anna included in the like me, Anna, and Emma version of this kit. So I've never printed or had an like, actual photo in a spread before, but so I have like not hidden it, but I have put it behind the extender because I've like never had that in a planner before. So it felt a bit weird to me for it to be like with the rest of the art, but I wanted to include it there because obviously planning, like the reason I even have this kit is because of Anna, and it was so nice to like have the wedding, the three of us, so I wanted to include that. Then I marked that I went to Tesco again, that I straightened my hair because I had to straighten my hair ahead of the wedding. Why would I have straightened my hair on Thursday when I was going for the, like, I then had to wash my hair again on Saturday? I don't know, but anyway, I straightened my hair. And then I was writing cards, which would have been, like, bridesmaids thank you cards on that day, and, like, parent cards and supplier thank you cards and stuff. Then on Friday, Martha had a day off, and then Emma had come to stay on Thursday night. I don't know why I didn't mark that. Or maybe she just turned up Friday morning. I'm pretty sure she stayed on Thursday, which again would explain why I was tidying actually, because if Emma was staying. Anyway, but Emma helped us pack up the car because we were taking everything to Nebworth that day. So we got married at Nebworth House in Stevenage, and we were taking everything to Nebworth for our operations meeting. So Emma helped us pack up the car, and then she took me to have my nails done, which I've never had my nails done, and it was very cool. They looked amazing. Getting them off was horrible. And I don't think I could make a habit of it because it was such a pain to get them off. I know obviously if you were having them done regularly, they would take them off. But I hated taking them off myself. But anyway, they looked beautiful and they're really nice in the photos. We then went for lunch at Frankie and Benny's. We had this amazing Rolo cookie dough. Oh my word, so good. And then we went to the ops meeting at Nebworth, which is basically where we kind of like hand over all the stuff, all of the boxes, my wedding binder, the like many labeled things. And Nebworth were amazing at looking after us on the day, so very very lucky for like everything they did for us. Then I marked that finished packing because we were leaving on the Saturday to go to the Airbnb, like me and the bridesmaids. So it was finished packing for that, watched another Game Changer, and then just snuggled on the sofa with Stuart as our like last night of being together before we went and got married, because we didn't spend Saturday night together. Okay, I have at this point made the decision to slow the footage down because I'm realising how much I want to tell you about the wedding and I can't do that at 2 times speed. So we're going to enjoy the step-by-step account now for the last few days. So for Saturday, the first thing that I marked was that I had a shower and then I washed my hair 3 times. And it was really funny because when I sent a picture of the completed spread of this to Natalie, one of my bridesmaids, she was like, "Did you really wash your hair 3 times?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." Because I had my hair highlighted for the wedding and I love what it looks like. It's basically like caramelly blonde highlights. And I've wanted to be blonde my whole life. Like, I was always so jealous. My brother's a blondie. And I was always so jealous that he got to have the blonde hair. And I never believed my hair could be blonde. And then it was suggested by Helen, who did my wedding hair and makeup, that my normal hairdresser, Hayley, she was like, "Oh, if you could just speak to Hayley about getting highlights, it would just like really set off the hairstyle that you had," which is the hairstyle that you can see on the like Sunday art box. So I had it up, but in like a low bun with a braid. And so I mentioned it to Hayley and she was like, "Yeah, okay." And she did the highlights and I couldn't believe how blonde it came out. But I'm so happy that I really, really like my hair now. And as somebody who has never liked their hair, I have naturally curly hair and got bullied for my hair when I was younger. And so I really don't like my hair. Like everyone else loves my hair, but I don't. And to like my hair is quite a big deal. But the downside is that I think between that and I've been growing my hair for like the last year and a half for the wedding, it needs length taken off it now, and it just was feeling like really dry and stuff. So I literally like deep conditioned my hair 3 times to try and like sort it out a little bit in advance of the wedding. So yeah, we got there in the end, and my hair is doing better, but from when I'm doing this voiceover, I'm getting it cut next week. And as much as I love having long hair, I think it's finally time. Then I marked that I had pie for lunch, and then I straightened my hair. And this one makes more sense to me because I had my hair curled, well, like pinned up and curled for the wedding. So I had to go with my hair straight rather than naturally curly to make it easier for them to do my hair. Then I marked that I had a breakdown, and this was not a very nice breakdown. I have complicated mental health things, which we don't need to go about in this video, but it meant that everything the whole week just weighed down on me, and I just got very upset. But, if I was not 100% confident that marrying Stuart was the right thing to do, that breakdown proved it. Very, very lucky to be with him. So then after my breakdown, we went to check into the Airbnb. And so I booked this Airbnb for me and some of my bridal party to stay the night before the wedding. And this Airbnb was amazing. So it had 3 bedrooms in these gorgeous grounds that were like kind of towards where we got married, but not really. It's kind of like Letchworth Way, which is like the next town from Nebworth. But it's like in the middle of nowhere on like a farm estate, I guess. And I've never stayed anywhere so beautiful. I don't think it was and the owner, Nikki, had done such a cute job with like getting the place ready for us. Like she'd got a dressing gown for me, and she'd put up decorations, and she just like couldn't do enough to help us. She was so excited that we were using the place for the wedding, and it was such a like really lovely way to start off all of the getting ready. Then I marked that we were steaming and ironing dresses, which is basically what we did for hours. Like, I was ironing stuff for ages, like ironing all of our dressing gowns. And then, well, my mum and dad were there for a bit, and then they left, and then Emma and Anna turned up, and then the bridesmaids kind of arrived through the rest of the evening, and all we did was steam dresses the whole evening and listen to our, like, the playlist from my hen do. Then I marked that I ate a salad, and then I just marked chat with the girls because we were up until about 10, just like hanging out and chatting and talking about the wedding and stuff. So let's get into the exciting day, shall we? So, as I say, I've got 2 columns for Sunday, and on the first Sunday, the like left Sunday, is where I've got the toolbox with what we look like at the wedding. That is like my favorite thing I've ever done in a planner. And like, as I say, is to me this whole set is special, but having honestly a box that looks like Stuart in my planner is just like incredible because men with glasses are not really represented in the planner world. Like, we don't have a lot of male leaning, like masculine fashion people anyway in spreads, but they definitely don't have glasses. And they don't look like Stuart, so it's like really nice to have that. So in terms of things to mark, so first up, I marked getting married today. Because it sounds so soppy, but like, I've waited my whole life to get married. Stuart wasn't the first person I believed I would marry. And that's how life goes, and I was one of these people that thought I'd be married by like 23. And life doesn't go that way, but I'm so glad it didn't, because obviously this was the way it was meant to go. But for it to just like finally be my wedding was just like amazing, so I wanted to mark that. And then I did not really sleep, so we went up to bed at like 10, but we probably didn't sort of go to sleep until about half 11. And then I was in fits of sleep all night, and then 4 o'clock hit and I was up. I was like, there's literally no point me going back to sleep. I'm so ready to hit the day. So Helen, our hair and makeup person, arrived at 6:20. So at like 6 I got out of bed and had a shower, and then got up to go and let Helen in. And then I marked that I was hanging out with Sophie and Emily. So we had to start hair and makeup at 6:30. And Sophie very bravely volunteered to be the first person to have her hair done, but Emily and Sophie were sharing a room, so Emily was up anyway. So it was really nice because like the three of us got to like hang out for a bit, and they're like my longest friends of like everyone I've had as part of my wedding party. So Emily and I have known each other since year 7, and then Sophie and I have known each other since college. So it's been like a long time, and we've been best friends since college. So to it's like nice, the three of you, to be able to like talk about stuff. And Emily's getting married in March, so it's like really exciting to talk about Emily's wedding as well. And I'm very excited because I'm going to be a bridesmaid for that one, so like that's amazing because I've never been a bridesmaid before, so I'm really excited. Then I marked that I got my hair done and that I got my makeup done. And I'll include some pictures. I'll try and include some pictures as we go through this. I'm not really sure how much people want to see, but I will include some photos, especially at this part of the spread when all it is boxes. I'll definitely include some. So yeah, got my hair and makeup done, and Helen is like amazing at doing wedding hair and makeup, but it was really like fun to have my hair and makeup done, because I've never had my makeup done like that. I've had makeup done sometimes for shows because that's what I do in my spare time, but never on that level. So that was really fun to have hair and makeup done. Then I marked that I put my shoes on, and my shoes were so they were Converse, but they were Converse that were like hand decorated by Emma. And I'd found some inspiration online of what I wanted, but Emma did them like perfect cat shoes. So she covered them in lace, and we spent a lot of time shopping for the perfect lace. And then she did like the ribbons, which are a mixture of like gold and green ribbons, and then she's glued gems on, and the gems are in like hidden Mickeys. They were amazing, and it was so much comfier than wearing heels. If I can give you any advice, any of you that are yet to get married, wear comfy shoes. It's such a long day. I just couldn't have imagined wearing heels. Then I marked that I put on my dress, and that was like the only drama the whole day, was a button broke off my dress. My dress is from Wed to Be, which is like a kind of like wedding warehouse, and I've spoken a lot about it on the channel, so I won't go on about it. But they are like off the rack dresses, and therefore some people might need a lot of work done to their dress, which I did need a lot of work done to mine. It was basically reconstructed by a seamstress who was amazing. But I guess in the, my dress has been transported multiple times or whatever, but the button just came off. So that had to be sewed back on. Thankfully, I had multiple emergency sewing kits with me, but hair and makeup took a little bit longer than we were expecting, and then getting into my dress took a little bit longer than we were expecting. And then at this point, my photographer was like, Kat, I'm not going to be able to stage get pictures of you getting ready because, like, I need to go and take pictures at the venue. And then I was starting to get a little bit stressed about timeline and about being late, because they'd been very, like, the registrars had been like, do not be late. So I was a little bit worried, but it was fine. That honestly was the only drama. Like, we got me in the dress, it was fine. We got my shoes on, it was all good. And once we left the Airbnb and we were on the way, I felt loads better. And like after that, everything was all good. So then we travelled in Penny, who is our VW van. The amazing Kate, like who drove the van, was just like the best cheerleader and hype person, and it was like amazing to spend like travelling to the wedding with her. Then I marked that we had the registrar meeting, so that's where they just do like the final admin bits with you, and they did it with my dad. So it was just that, and that was so weird, like being in the venue knowing Stuart was in the other room but not being able to see him, and he's like the only person I want to see when I'm like super anxious about things, so that was like really weird to not see him. Then I marked that I walked down the aisle with my dad, and got to, and there was Stuart. It was just like this amazing thing that, that's like the bit you really dream about. So then I marked that we exchanged rings, and then I marked that we're married. And these gold foil scripts are from Squirrel Prince K. And I did have to mess around with this a bit. I think I've left the footage in, where the toolbox flapped down. I didn't want it to be like halfway on a box sticker, so I had to like pull them all up and put them all down again. So, I haven't done it yet. Okay, I've not done it yet. But basically, what happens is I have to pull up a load of boxes, and then I ruin some of the scripts by doing that, unfortunately. But so I just wrote them out again. It's fine. It like looks a bit sick. Oh, here we go. Am I about to do it? Yeah, look, and then I realise it's halfway down the green. Anyway, so yeah, marked that we got married, and then I marked that we had our first kiss. Then I marked that we signed the marriage certificate. And it's like all of this happens in a very short space of time, all this part of the wedding. But I marked it all just basically because I had those Squirrel Prince Co scripts, because I'll never use them again. So I thought I'll try and use as many of them as I can, because I really didn't use enough of them. They lean a little bit American, but to be honest, I didn't specifically mark things like chose first dance song, because I always knew what first dance song we were going to have. So there was like certain things I didn't mark. Then I marked that we did photos outside the house. So Nebworth House is like this amazing, I can't think of the word, amazing house that you can go and look around and visit, like a National Trust type thing. It's not National Trust, but that type of thing. And we got to have photos outside the house, and I love those photos. They look amazing. And we didn't get married inside the house because it's quite expensive to get married in the house. We got married in the barns. But the fact that we could get photos outside the house is absolutely fine by me, because it looks like we got married at the house. I love those photos. And it was really nice to just have some time, just me and Stuart, so that we could just chat and hang out and stuff, because obviously the day does go by really quickly, like people say it does. I didn't feel though at any point, because a lot of the advice we get is like, make sure you take time for yourself, but I actually think we had 3 lots of photos that were just us, because we had rain, and we'll talk about it. So actually we had quite a lot of time, just me and Stuart, going around together, which is really nice. And Lindsay, our photographer, who's just the best, Lindsay like effortlessly made sure we spent time together without it being like, you two need to spend time, just the two of you. So it was really nice. Then I marked that we did our confetti shot, and that was a really important thing for me to specifically mark, because I like, one of the things that Stuart loved about Lindsay's photos was the confetti shots that she does. And so I messaged her a few months back to specifically ask her like what colour confetti we should get that would like show up well in photos, and what you should do. And Lindsay responded to me at 3 a.m. with this really lengthy post about different colour confetti and different ways to throw confetti, and how like it's better to just have a basket and people can get a handful and just throw it. And it was such useful advice of like something I hadn't realised there was so many layers to. So I wanted to specifically mark it because it had been like a big thing to me and Stuart to like get the confetti shot, and I love our confetti shots. I think they look like amazing. So I wanted to make sure that we specifically included that. And that is all of like the first day, and here's me just picking up that mess. Oh my goodness. It honestly, like, so much of this spread is me picking stuff up, putting stuff down, swapping stuff around. And then I think it was when I started the Sunday that I realized that you're gonna laugh at this, but I didn't have enough boxes. I even though the mystery format from Anna is like we get a full standard vertical if that's the version that you subscribe to, and then you get the box add-on and the glitter add-on included, and we get a mystery page. Like there's a lot of boxes, but I was very specifically using a lot of the quarter boxes, which I don't typically use a lot of those, and I just got through them all. So I needed more. Thankfully, Anna being Anna had sent me a spare mini kit and had sent me multiple extra pages that she had. So I just dived into the mini kit, which was perfect 'cause it meant I never felt I was running out of boxes, which I think was very important for this day. So that was really good. So I guess I'll carry on and just talk about Sunday for a bit, and then we'll see how we're getting on with the footage. So I then, after marking the confetti shot, marked that we did group photos. So group photos were really important to Stuart and I because I know that it's really important to have like the candid photos and the ones that they capture of like you laughing with friends or like kids being cute at your wedding, and that was really important to us. And Lindsay's amazing at photos like that, and she's got some amazing photos, like candid photos of us. So there's one of me and our friend Anders, which is like one of my favorite photos of all time. It was like a really personal moment that Anders and I were having that nobody else was part of, and it was like, I won't repeat any of it here, but the fact that Lindsay captured that when I had no idea she was there, and then she's caught this picture of me laughing with Stuart's dad, which is like will be one of my favorite photos forever. We have a really fun bridesmaids shot, so we've got like so many funny photos, but group photos were really, oh, and there's one of our friend Graham who like got behind us while we were taking some couple photos, and that one is hilarious. That's like one of Stuart's favorite photos of the whole wedding. But group photos were very important to us because I was like, group photos is a lot of what like the rest of our family and friends, like that's the thank you back to them. Like they're very important to my mum to have these group photos, and we've got like group photos with my mum's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, and all of Stuart's family, and we don't get a lot of opportunities to all be together like that, so it was very important for us to have group photos, and I'm so happy with all the ones that we had. Like we've got such a good range of them. I love our like full wedding party one. It's just really cute. I just really like them, and like Stuart's got some really nice ones with him and the boys, and yeah, really love them. But what happened is, over the course of our group photos, the weather started to turn. And in the lead up to the wedding, everyone kept saying to me, oh, how do you feel? Because it might rain. It might rain. And it wasn't supposed to rain, and then it was going to rain. And it was like every day people were like, how do you feel it's going to rain? I was like, I can't control the weather. Like, I am a very anxious person. I'm a very stressy person. And there's a lot of things that were within my control. And, like, well... I felt like there were a lot of things that I had control over through, you know, the 50-page wedding binder and stuff. And had those things gone wrong, or had the venue messed stuff up, or had any of our suppliers messed up, then I would have been annoyed because I have standards and I paid for standards, and I expect myself to do a good job in my normal day-to-day job, and I do expect suppliers to do a good job. So I would have found that stressful. But our supplies were amazing. Couldn't have asked for better. We picked so well. We had amazing people, like, absolutely amazing. But you cannot control the weather, and so it just didn't stress me if it was going to rain. I bought a load of clear umbrellas from Amazon, like 30 of them, and just was like, if it rains, it rains. And it did rain, and so it did like kind of tamper our group photos a little bit because they start to, like, the sky starts to go grey as we go through the group photos. And then what happens is me and Stuart were then supposed to have our couple shoot, and it's chucking it down at this point. Everyone else has been sent back inside. But I love our umbrella photos. The venue bought us out our clear umbrellas, and my dad like hung around like holding an umbrella over Lindsay while she was taking the photos, and I love how our umbrella photos came out. They're some of my favorites of the day. I think they're amazing. And because of that, like we had our Nebworth House outside Nebworth House shoot, we had our umbrella shoot, and then we had Nebworth Grounds shoot. So there's a lot of photos of just me and Stuart, which is amazing. But after we'd finished getting wet and having photos outside, we went in for the drinks reception. That's the bit that feels like the most blur to me, of like I was trying to say hi to a few people and like say hi to some of my friends who traveled. Like two of my friends had traveled from Chicago to be at my wedding, so it was like trying to like make sure I said hi to all of them and said hi to all of Stuart's family who I hadn't seen yet, because obviously bearing in mind Stuart's already seen everyone and I haven't seen or spoken to anybody by this point. All I've done is like kind of waved hello while we did photos. So it was really nice to like catch up with everyone. Then marked that we did the grounds photos, because by this point it's sunny again. Like you could not have told, like you would not know it had rained. So Lindsay got us back outside for our grounds photos, and those are my peak favorite of the three that we did. It's got my favorite photo of the wedding is from that set, which is like this amazing photo of me and Stuart, but it's like mostly of the grounds and it just looks amazing, and my dress looks so cute, and there's one of like us holding hands and looking back, and like I had a lot of I've spoken about it before on the channel, but I had like a lot of fear over picking the perfect dress for the wedding. I had a lot of second thoughts about whether I'd done the right thing or got the right dress or whatever. And everyone on the day was like, "Oh wow, your dress is amazing. You look like a princess." And it was like the perfect thing to say to me, because as a Disney princess lover, like we didn't have a ton of Disney in the wedding. It was very Disney music themed in general. And I didn't actually walk down the aisle to Disney. I walked down the aisle to the Maestro from the holiday, which was amazing. Like the room like gasped. So that was really cool. But we had a lot of Disney otherwise. We had a harpist who played a lot of Disney, and then we had a lot of Disney in like the wedding breakfast music and stuff like that. But it wasn't a Disney wedding, but I did want to be a princess. We'd gone for like a princess venue, and so everyone knew to say the right thing to do. And those pictures I think are like amazing of my dress. So then I marked the speeches, which, as I've already said, were amazing. Like I sobbed my whole way through the speeches, and Lindsay got so many photos of me sobbing. Like my dad did such a lovely speech, and then my friends Sophie and Emily did this amazing like musical theatre themed Disney speech. It was incredible. And Stuart's dad did the world's shortest speech, but was like the most emotional, and yeah, it was. And like Stuart's speech was so cool. So he got like cameos from Fred Weasley and Billy Boyd. It's just like, and they were like about me. It was like, yeah, speeches were very cool. Then I marked that the band were playing, so we had a swing band, which was the one thing that Stuart and I had always known we wanted at the wedding, was a swing band. So I had to mark that they were playing. They were the one bit of the wedding that I kind of missed though, because the wedding breakfast, which I've not really spoken about, but our wedding breakfast was amazing. The decorations and everything that we had were incredible, and I like cried when we went into the wedding breakfast. It was so beautiful. And then so I like hung around in there a bit once the band started playing, and then we had to cut the cake, and then there was the first dance, and then there was a photo booth, and I was getting like taken in for photo booth photos. So to be honest, my maybe one regret, other than I didn't get to meet our harpist, was that I didn't really get to dance to the band, because their set was just over. We only had them for 2 hours, and then we switched over to a DJ. But still, like I think Stuart's niece definitely enjoyed them. She was dancing away. Then I marked that we cut the cake, and our amazing cake, which we still have some like frozen for our anniversary next year. Then we did our first dance, which was to The Way You Look Tonight by Frank Sinatra, like the Frank Sinatra version, not the Bublé version, which is like, I've always known that would be my first dance song. For like 15 years I've known that. So that was amazing to have that. And Stuart is like, some of our friends videoed it, and Stuart's like singing to me the whole time, and it's so cute. Then I marked that went in the photo booth, because as I say, I was getting like constantly dragged into the photo booth, which is so lovely, because I have a group of photos with my work colleagues, and I have ones with our friend's daughter Grace, who like specifically wanted photo booth photos with me. Grace is my favorite. It was so cute. And then I've got like ones with like me and my cousin, and ones with have we got Stankettes ones? There's like what our group of friends that's called the Stankettes. I don't know if we've got Stankettes ones, but there's like loads of group photos. So it's like amazing to actually be in those, because I really like doing photo booths at other people's weddings. So it's really nice to be in my own photo booth, and we have like a dedicated photo booth album when people have signed all their photos and stuff, which is amazing. Then I marked that the DJ was playing. So our DJ Kieran, he like completely reframed to me what a DJ does. He just read the room so well. And we'd had a Zoom call with him, and he was like, "So Kat, you've written on like your music preferences that you only listen to Disney musicals." I was like, "Yeah, I was like, Kieran, I'm not really into like normal music. Like, you do what you think is best. Like, play at the wedding what you think works. But I'm not really into it." Kieran played High School Musical, which was the best. Like, so me and my cousin used to do shows together, and we did High School Musical together as like the first show we did. And we can still do the entire routine. And like doing High School Musical in my wedding dress was like such a core memory moment. Was just so much fun, like amazing to do that. Then I marked that we had pizza and cake. So that was our evening buffet, was pizza, and it was really good pizza, and I wish I'd had more of it. But you know, things move on, and like you have a bit of pizza and you're dancing to High School Musical and you're chatting to people, and like obviously you're trying to get round everybody and like speak to everyone. So there was not a lot of time for pizza, but I did get some pizza, and I made sure Stuart ate pizza, more importantly, because he had a lot of guests there. He had a lot of friends and family there, so I wanted to make sure he ate. I've marked the dancing to High School Musical because it was very important to me. Then I marked that we had some nighttime photos. So Lindsay took us out to have some photos in front of the castle, and she had no idea that like the one sacrifice that I'd made for picking Nebworth was that I would have really loved to have had a firework display at our wedding, but there are not really venues around here that do firework displays. Like most of the venues in Hertfordshire are farms and barns and stuff, and you can't do firework displays. But she'd bought sparklers without knowing that this is something I wanted, so I do have photos with sparklers, which is incredible. And it's just, I don't know, she's a mind reader. She didn't even know that was like the one thing that I felt I'd missed out on. So that was amazing. Then I marked that we got to travel in Doug. So Kate, who we travelled with the Penny, the VW van that she owned, I'd asked her if she could pick us up from the wedding, which is not a normal service that she does, but she's just one of life's best humans. And she was like, "Yeah, of course, I'll totally come pick you up." It was amazing. And she was like, "Oh, I'll come in my normal car, or I'll bring Penny." And then she's got this new car, Doug, who's this little like 2-seater Beetle. She was like, "I'm gonna come in Doug." So we were like two of the first people that got to have a ride in Doug, and he was so cute. And so we've got pictures with Doug as well, which is adorable, and it was just like such a cute way. And it was then just like us and Kate like on the way back to the Airbnb. And it was really nice to just decompress with her, because she was such a cheerleader for me for the wedding. And when I was a little bit stressed when we left the Airbnb, and then I saw Kate, and she just gave me a massive hug, and it was just like amazing to see her. It just made everything so much better. So to like end the day with her, it was like such a full circle moment. And then I marked best day ever, because it was the best day ever. And then I marked that Stuart and I just had some chats and some cuddles, and it was really funny because when we got back to the Airbnb, like my dress was massive, right? I had a massive train, and I'd lost my veil about half a day before. Like I didn't realize until we got back to the Airbnb. I was like, "Oh, Stuart, I don't have my veil in anymore. I don't know what I did with that." But the venue were really good, and they just like looked after everything for us. Because Elliot was like, "I lost my jacket." Like we just lost track of everything. But I like sat in my dress for a while, like chatting to Stuart, and then I was like, "Stuart, I actually haven't been able to breathe for about like 14 hours. If we could take off my dress, that would be really good." And like I wasn't actually sure I was going to do the full day in my dress, because it's just really hot, because it had so many layers. So I'd bought a backup dress in case, but I did do my whole day in the dress, and I'm glad I did in the end. But like I was really happy with my backup dress, but it was nice to do the full thing. But I took my petticoat off at about 8, like after we did the first dance, and after that it was so much better. The petticoat was by far the worst. Nobody really tells you how horrible wedding petticoats are. They are so sucky in, and like that was what I couldn't breathe in, but my actual dress was fine. So yeah, once I got the petticoat off, it was loads better. And that's it, friends. That's Mr. and Mrs. Lang. That's the story. So yeah, it was, as I say, it was like the single most amazing day. It's amazing to get to relive it. So we got our photos back a couple of weeks ago, and that was amazing because Lindsay did like a proof book of every single photo. So we got to relive going through all of that, and then I did a series of Instagram posts with a load of photos and like thank you messages for all our suppliers and things. I'm sorry, my hair is like so much in the footage at this point. So I did like thank you posts for everyone, and then we will get physical copies of our book soon as well, in like a couple of months. So it's really nice to like relive it a few times. We need to get some photos put up around the house as well. That's the next thing. But yeah, but that's basically it. I'm just doing like the confetti and stuff along the top and the deco and things. So happy with how the spread came out. So happy with how the Monday to Sunday worked. I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with the final look. And I hope that you like it as well. Again, a massive thank you to Anna for making this kit a thing. It's, as I say, the coolest thing to ever happen to me. And I'm just very grateful that she would go to this level of effort. I know I keep thanking her, but it's it doesn't go unknown to me that she like gave up a mystery slot for this. And like yes, it's like a wedding theme is a really good choice for a mystery, and it's a really like good accessible wedding set, but it's still my wedding set, and so it's very very special to me that she made this happen. So I'm very grateful for her. So yeah, just a massive shout out to Anna for doing that. And thank you to all of you, because so many people were so hyped about my wedding, and for like people to care enough that they wanted me to do this plan with me is amazing, and that they wanted to do the spread. And then when it got revealed that this kit was being done, I was really worried about how people would react, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, is that Kat's wedding kit?" And that's so nice. Like this community means so much to me. This community of internet hype people from all over the world. You know, like Alex in Canada and Mel in Australia, and like there's so many people around who are so supportive, and it's so nice to be like so virtually involved in people's lives. So yeah, I'm very grateful to all of you for all the love and support related to the wedding, because it means a lot. So thank you so much. And that's it. That's the full spread with a million extenders, with gold bougie everywhere, with overlays everywhere. And just look at it in its full glory. It's so fun. It's so fun. So thank you again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would really appreciate a like. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe. In the description, I will have a link to all of the shops that I featured today. And I will also have a link to my Instagram and my Goodreads if you want to check out any more content from me. Otherwise, I will see you in whatever my next video is. Bye!